Hey, so I considered to make a movie and add a voiceover for this video because it's quite interesting. We have here an iPhone 11 that is actually rebooting after various periods of time, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. As you can see, the phone is currently frozen, and at some point it's going to just reboot. This is an interesting video because there are plenty of videos out there with usual suspects that cause the iPhone 11 to reboot, like various sensors, but those reboots happen exactly at every 3 minutes. This is a bit unusual, and you're gonna see a bit later when we're gonna look in the logs. So the phone is fully rebooted now. Let's have a look at the logs and see what the logs show us. I'm using the Panic log analyzer, and as you can see here, the first log reports that Wi-Fi ID was not responding uh, in due time. The second log shows us that log D, I don't know, it's kind of a daemon that didn't respond. Third log says log D. Fourth log Wi-Fi daemon, and so on. Again, Wi-Fi daemon. So we're gonna see these logs like Wi-Fi daemon, log daemon. Sometimes you get a springboard not responding. So all these are quite inconsistent, and it's not like a regular suspect that we have when a sensor is not responding and it reboots every 3 minutes. This is quite interesting, and in theory, what I believe is that it's actually a software issue, but I'm gonna try to exclude everything I can, because the phone has a lot of data on it, and I would like to be able to restore the phone and save the data. The main problem is that we cannot make a backup for it because the device reboots during the backup. So I tried all possible options with RioTools, with iTunes, and the backup was not working at all. So wanting to save the data, I'm gonna try to exclude everything I can. I'm gonna start by replacing the Wi-Fi chip, but for that one I'm gonna have to remove the NAND and use the P12 programmer to unbind the Wi-Fi. gonna use here the P12 programmer. First thing, we're gonna do a backup of the existing sysconfig. And after, I'm gonna unbind the Wi-Fi. Then I'm gonna take another backup with the Wi-Fi unbound. And huge shock here. Apparently, I've fried the board. The processor is the CPU is right on the other side of the NAND, and during my NAND reball and replace it back and the cleaning of the board, I overheated it. So I'm noticing here a big short while powering on. This changes things completely because I'm gonna have to remove the CPU, reball it, and place it back. But again, the CPU was actually on the list, so it could have been one of the culprits for the reboots. I got so mad at this point that I've stopped the recording, and I didn't record the first part where I desoldered the CPU and I gave it a first clean, but you're gonna see and during the second clean attempt of the CPU I've started the recording too. I'm missing here the first part where I've cleaned the CPU by placing it on the hot plate. The hot plate is around 170 degrees, so first I used the 138 degree low melt solder. I put a blob on it and some flux and just scrub it until it lost it replaced all the pads with low melt solder, and it cleaned the most of the gunk under the CPU. So here is basically the second round where I first clean it, then put it back on the plate, and added added some new flux and clean it again with some toothpicks. Um, I'm not gonna discuss temperatures because I don't have a very good success rate in CPU swaps. And in the meanwhile, I was contacted by the owner of the phone that said that actually the data is not important and they want a working phone. So I'm gonna do this by myself, but if you have data to recover, then you have good alternatives in Europe like rescuerepair.com. You have BMP, which is a master on that, or if you are in the US, you have Jesse Cruz, the VCC Ball Repair up in Vegas, or down in Florida, you have STS Telecom that you can contact for proper data recovery. Here we check the boot behavior without the CPU on board, and apparently everything is okay. And now we check the boot behavior with the CPU installed, and it looks good. So at this point, I've soldered the boards together, the sandwich boards, and it is still running with the original Wi-Fi chip. The processor was just rebuilt. And here I'm trying to do a backup and see how it works. I've cut a large part of the backup video because it just stood there and ran the backup for about 15-20 minutes, and at this point, as you see, the phone froze and it has restarted and backup has been interrupted, so the CPU reboot was no help for our problem. Checking the logs again reveals that the phone rebooted due to the Wi-Fi daemon not being responsive. So we're back to square one. I had approximately, I don't know, 3 or 4 donor boards from iPhone 11s, and as you can see, the Wi-Fi chip on all my donor boards was ending, the code was ending in 648, and this particular board I was working on had a chip that was ending in 647. Unfortunately, I couldn't find one donor board with that particular chip. The chip is the same size, the same pinout, but I've replaced it with a 648, and to spoil the surprise, the backup didn't work. It was failing also after the Wi-Fi chip has been replaced. But interesting enough, the Wi-Fi never worked with this 648 chip, so eventually I was using the old original 647 chip back on it, so we can have Wi-Fi back. So pay attention when you do Wi-Fi chip replacement on 11, because apparently the code is somehow tied with the processor. I don't know, even if the Wi-Fi is unbound. As the new Wi-Fi chip didn't work at all, so I didn't have a Wi-Fi function and the phone was still rebooting, I said, what the hell, I'm gonna do a complete bottom board swap. So I have replaced the board. I have moved the baseband CPU and the baseband EEPROM on the new board, and after the board, what do you know, surprise, after the board swap, again I wasn't able completely to do a backup, so at this point I I turn my attention back on the NAND, and as you see, I've taken the NAND out again, and I was trying to restore the original image on it, but at some point during this operation the NAND completely failed on me, and apparently I've lost everything. So I think the original problem was actually related to a bad NAND that was causing software issues. Um, I don't know, because of this um, of this happening. I can't tell for sure if the problem was actually software or the problem was related to a bad NAND. Um, I won't post any further videos, recordings on this one because the video is already 20 minutes long and it's gonna bore everyone to death. What I can say is that I've replaced the NAND with a new one from a donor board, and obviously when you do that, the phone will lose all the data. It was in DFU, so I managed to refresh it, and the phone works great now. It doesn't reboot anymore. Okay, so I think this is kind of it, and I hope this is useful for everybody that's watching it.